This presentation is about Georgian rings and Georgian style jewelry, and it is brought to you by www.qualityvintageengagement.rings.com. Now, as you are purchasing a vintage or an antique engagement ring, you'll find that these rings and pieces of jewelry date back to specific time periods. There were 6 decorative periods that occurred between the 1700s and the 1940s, and each of these time periods has a very individual, unique style. They're all very different from each other. Today we're just going to focus on the Georgian style, and that is actually the oldest style in this time frame that we're looking at. It ran from about 1714 to about 1830, and the specific years are debatable. It's hard to say exactly when a specific time period started and when it ended, but this is just kind of the general time frame, the 1700s and the early 1800s. Now, like I said, the Georgian rings, the Georgian jewelry, is the oldest that can be found. It's very, very hard to find because it is dated so long ago. We don't really have any jewelry pieces that date back before the 1700s, and so these are pretty much the oldest jewelry pieces that you can purchase today. The reason they're very difficult to find is because at the time, the people considered the individual pieces of the ring to be more valuable than the ring as a whole. And so, for example, if they had a diamond ring, they at times would melt down the metals, and use the metal and the diamond for something else. The metal itself and the diamond itself was more valuable than the ring as a whole. Now, silver was very popular. The designers believed that the silver helped to bring out the brilliance of the diamonds, and the white color of the metal made the diamond shine more. And so most of the rings and the jewelry pieces from the Georgian time period were silver, and diamonds were usually the main stone. You may be able to find some other semi-precious stones, but for the most part, diamonds are what was used for the jewelry during that time. Now, one of the most popular designs is known as the crowned heart, and this design was a very strong, deep symbol of love in the Georgian time period. And so, lovers would have these rings designed with the crowned heart and present them to their bride-to-be, or whoever it was that they wanted to profess their love to, really. And it was just a very, very strong symbol, was that crowned heart. And that has carried into some of the modern rings today. Sometimes brides do choose to have that crowned heart design placed in their modern ring, just because of the story that it tells and the history that it shares of the deep, profound love that people would share with that design. One very unique thing about the Georgian style jewelry is some of the jewelry was made to be adjustable. And so, like, a necklace could be turned into 2 bracelets, or some of the pieces of the bracelets could be taken off to be earrings, or brooches, or different things like that. People didn't have a lot of variety of jewelry themselves. Most people only owned just a few jewelry pieces, and so they liked that adjustable factor because then they could use it to create other things as well. And all of the pieces were handmade. Back in the 1700s and the early 1800s, they didn't have the technology that we have today, to make the rings, and so all of them are handmade. If you do find any Georgian rings, or these true antique pieces, they are very, very valuable because of the history that they contain and the rarity of the style of jewelry. So that gives you kind of a general overview about Georgian style and Georgian engagement rings. We do have a lot more information on our website about the other decorative jewelry periods as well. So if you'd like more information about jewelry periods, or even just general information about diamonds and engagement rings, check out our website because we've got some great resources there. Again, that website URL is www.qualityvintageengagement.rings.com.